Aloha, everyone. I hope that you're choosing to make this a good day in as many ways as possible. Welcome to Dr. P's Facets of Life series. This is pod number 16. Today's topic, perception. Several years ago, a friend, then in his mid-70s, asked me to write a paper on the subject of perception. He had his own thoughts and curiosities, but wanted my take on it. I agreed to do that for him, and I have decided to share that writing with you. I chose to use a copy of Webster's New Handy Dictionary, dated 1941. I chose that for a couple of reasons. One, my friend was born in 1939, and two, because at the time it was the only dictionary I owned. It came in a little zippered leather carry case. Actually, I guess there was a third reason for using the old dictionary. I wanted to see if the definition might be more simply worded than in a newer version. Indeed, it was simpler. The definition of the word perception was as follows: knowledge of or acquaintance with anything obtained through the senses. For those who might have forgotten, senses are the following: seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, and touching. So, one can come to perceive something by virtue of any or all of the aforementioned five senses. That means there are at least 5 ways to misunderstand, misinterpret, or otherwise not really know or understand someone or something. That is not to say that one cannot come close to understanding or knowing someone or something based on perception. One certainly can. I think that a common problem can occur when we make assumptions about another person and how that person presents messages to us. Many things can get in the way, depending on our relationship with the other person, which is the person who is the object of our perception of him or her. Our knowledge base of that person may lead us astray if we take too much for granted without thorough communication. Our moods and attitudes can certainly cloud our perception of others and of other things. Our lack of empathy can diminish our perception and actually understanding of others and of other situations. Do you get a feel for where I'm going with this? The keys to the most realistic perception of anyone or anything have to do with factual knowledge, open-mindedness, and effective communication. Now, effective communication is more about listening than it is about talking. Without going into areas of the mind and behavior that might bore you and confuse me, how we perceive someone or something may be too much about how we choose to view things and too little about trying to be open and really interested in a facet of another person or thing. In the real world, very few of us choose to take the time to really understand others in an objective and detailed manner. However, we can and should take the time when and where it involves others who are significant in our lives and who may be very important to us, or where we may be trying to help one another. If perception is an important issue to you, whether on the sending or the receiving end, I suggest you slow your thought processes and your subsequent behavior down in an effort to really see and really understand. Do less reacting and more responding in situations with others. Allow me to expand on the difference between reacting and responding, because this difference can be critical in many areas of communication. When you react, you are basically behaving out of a reflex. No real time to process the information. It's just bam, you blurt something out. On the other hand, when you respond, you are taking a few seconds to process the information. And by the way, we can process a lot of information and change the course of our thoughts, feelings, and subsequent words in 2 or 3 seconds, believe me. So try this out in a few situations and see what it feels like. So real productive communication takes time and effort that will likely be rewarded, or at least it will produce the perception of being rewarded. How do you perceive what you receive? This is Dr. P wishing you a wonderful day that is filled with gratitude. Aloha.